We all love a good villain. Their confidence, their power, their absolute refusal to submit. But have you ever wondered what actually pushes a perfectly kind, gentle person over the edge? What makes them look at the world and say, "No more Mr. Nice Guy"? Meet Duck. For years, Duck was the ultimate nice guy. He always said yes, stayed late at work, and let people step all over his boundaries just to keep the peace. He genuinely believed that if he was perfect, the world would treat him fairly. But the world didn't reward his kindness. It broke him. And in behavioral psychology, when a pushed-over person reaches their absolute psychological limit, a radical survival script flips inside the brain. Welcome to the birth of the villain arc. Entering your villain arc doesn't mean you become a bad person or start harming others. In modern psychology, it represents the exact evolutionary moment your brain switches from submissive, exhausting people-pleasing to ruthless, unapologetic self-preservation. In this video, we will break down the dark neurobiology of why good people turn cold, explore the massive dopamine hit of setting brutal boundaries, and give you the 4 psychological rules to harness your inner villain without losing your mind. To understand the birth of a villain, we must first look at the death of a people-pleaser. Psychologists state that chronic niceness is often a hidden trauma response. You overcompromise because your brain fears rejection and conflict far more than it values your own mental health. When you constantly swallow your anger to keep others happy, that emotional energy doesn't just evaporate, it gets stored. In psychoanalysis, this is known as accumulated resentment. Every single time you smile when you actually want to scream, another heavy link is added to your internal chain. Eventually, your brain reaches a state of total emotional bankruptcy. The prefrontal cortex can no longer suppress the pressure. The subconscious mind suddenly realizes that being good is actively killing you, and it prepares for a massive internal rebellion. And then the final trigger arrives. A moment of intense betrayal, exploitation, or sudden social rejection. The brutal, icy realization that the exact people you sacrificed your energy, time, and mental health for wouldn't lift a single finger to save you. This is the psychological point of no return. The beautiful illusion of universal fairness is shattered forever. The brain undergoes a rapid cognitive shift, completely rewiring its moral operating system to protect whatever is left of your sanity. In neuroscience, when an individual finally decides to stop conforming to harsh social expectations, the amygdala drastically lowers its stress output. Paradoxically, choosing to be the bad guy in a toxic person's narrative instantly cures your chronic social anxiety. You stop explaining yourself. You stop over-apologizing for things you didn't even do. The exact moment you accept that it's completely fine if people dislike you, you strip them of their ultimate power over your life. The villain arc acts as a temporary, vital, psychological armor. By willingly assuming the role of the antagonist in a broken system, you create a massive emotional distance between your true self and the toxic environment around you. When someone tries to guilt trip or manipulate you, your new armor simply reflects it right back at them. Your brain releases a heavy dose of dopamine because you finally chose your own well-being over cheap social validation. It feels intoxicatingly powerful. But here is where dark psychology issues a severe warning. If you stay inside this protective armor for too long, it begins to fuse with your skin. The exact fortress that saved you from being a helpless victim can easily turn you into a genuine oppressor. Let's look at the dark timeline of an uncontrolled villain arc. First, you close your heart completely to protect yourself from pain. Then, you stop trusting anyone, assuming every kindness has an ulterior motive. Finally, you start hurting people preemptively just so they can't hurt you first. By overcorrecting your past weakness, you fall directly into the trap of hyper-independence. You built a fortress so terrifyingly strong to keep your enemies out that you accidentally trapped yourself inside, completely cut off from genuine love, warmth, and human connection. So how do you harness this raw, dark energy without completely destroying your personal life? The ultimate goal is integration, not corruption. Our friend Duck mastered 4 precise psychological rules to execute a flawless, healthy villain arc. Let's write them down. Rule number 1. No is a complete sentence. A healthy villain doesn't make weak excuses, lie, or over-explain their choices. If a request compromises your time, energy, or values, simply say, "No, I can't do that," with absolute calm. You don't owe anyone a dissertation on why you chose yourself. Rule number 2. Set boundaries with consequences, not anger. Screaming at people shows emotional weakness. True psychological power lies in cold execution. Define your boundaries clearly once. If someone crosses them, quietly and completely remove their access to you. Silence is the ultimate villain move. Rule number 3. Weaponize your rage. Do not waste your valuable dark energy on toxic internet arguments or petty revenge. Instead, redirect that intense, fiery, emotional fuel directly into your career, your physical health, and your long-term goals. Let your absolute success be the only revenge. Rule number 4. Protect the inner circle. Your villain arc is strictly reserved for predators, manipulators, and freeloaders. Never direct your coldness toward the tiny handful of people who have genuinely loved and respected you. Be an unbreachable fortress to the world, but a safe home to your tribe. You don't need to become a monster to stop being a victim. You just need to realize that choosing your own peace is never a crime. It's finally time to step out of the heavy shadows of other people's expectations and start running your own show. Drop your mask, embrace your inner strength, and let them judge. If you're ready to completely master your psychology, hit that subscribe button right now. See you in the next breakdown.